why we do like that head to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't have bend without flexion, but you can have flexion without bend. So the thing that has to happen first is flexion. So if they have flexion where they turn their head, and again, if you roll it in, he's going to do it back at the base of his shoulder if you do it that much, and then he's just basically going to get short, so they can't really ride through. So how I always teach, especially like if you have a thoroughbred that you're trying to repurpose, if you actually teach her, and head to the wall needs to be called something else. It needs to be butt off the wall or something, because it has to start from their back end. When you tell somebody to do head to the wall, the first thing they do is turn their heads to the wall, which is not really what head to the wall is. Head to the wall is just literally that you are, like this is the long side, and you just literally angle everything over here. So even all of your body would angle this way.
So is it a bit of a leg yield then along the wall?
It's a baby version of a leg yield down the long side.
Okay.
Or on a straight line. So they're not really moving sideways like people think about leg yields. So if I'm traveling this way and I go head to the wall, then I'm going to actually kind of walk like this. So you basically get mobilization out of their outside hind leg. And then if you ask them to still maintain this, so your body stays like this, and then you take your own shoulders and you ask his ears that are up here to come here, then they do this. So now it looks like I'm actually bent and flexed, right? And I'm still traveling on the line.
Okay.
People just, so he's so great because he shows how much we all override. Because if you do too much, then he's like, this. And to be able to mold him is truly what you're looking for. A thoroughbred, even if they didn't race, they're stiffer.
Yes.
When they do race, they're a lot stiffer. So in order to break that up, most people think, okay, well, I'm just gonna start like moving their neck around. But, so the best way that I can explain that is if you have a piece of rope, I was just telling Joanne, if you have a piece of rope and there's a knot in it, do you work really hard at the knot, pulling on the knot to get the knot out? Nope, because you'll make the knot tighter, right? So you do the outer aspects. If you can get their hind legs mobilized, it's like fishing things into the knot and then the knot becomes looser. Or gears that are stuck. Where gears are stuck, you don't focus where the gears are stuck and go, oh, I gotta get these to move. You focus on everything that contributes to moving those gears. So if you can mobilize their hind legs, and people just think, oh, that means go faster. Mobilize just means, can you move them here? Can you move them here? Can you move them up? Can you move them over? And if they're mobilized, it means you have access to them. It doesn't mean they're just going along and they're going really fast. So a racehorse, they actually don't have mobilized hind legs. They have feet that are going fast, but they don't really have mobilized hind legs because you don't have access to it. So that's why you take those horses way back and you go, okay, let's do like a little head to the wall thought, which again should be tail off the wall or hind legs off the wall. Because you're basically saying, can we stay on this line and can I mobilize your hind legs? And then when you can do that, and then you can mobilize them this way or you can mobilize them that way, then you can allow them to go up. All of a sudden you're like, oh, like now above your jawline, it's looser, and then you can ask for flexion. And when you ask for flexion, they may go like this. So you go, you keep that, but mobilize, move your hind legs so you have access, that you're in control of moving them. Then you chip away at all that stiffness. It's like loosening a knot. Okay. But again, we always all like.
Well, and as you're describing it and moving it, all of a sudden I'm going, there's the canter. If you can get this, and that was, I mean,
it's mobilizing his hind legs. So that's why, again, when people do ground stuff.
So go ahead. You try it with Cabo. Go try it.
Like anal linguistic people. When people will say like, okay, they do groundwork with their horse, and you know they'll turn them in a circle, and they go, okay, well, you know, I'm doing it to disengage their hind leg. And
so this is just the leg yield along the wall.
Yep. So you're just thinking sideways. You're not moving along a line, and that's why he's like, how's it? You have to move on your line first. Head to the wall is just an angle or a shape. Leg yielding is a shape. You're moving along the line. Okay. So you have to go down the long side in an angled way, but down the long side. So you never ever work more sideways than you do longitudinally going. Doesn't matter, half pass, leg yield, anything. Shape, shoulder in, haunches in, anything. You never work laterally more than you work longitudinally.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm getting it. I'm not quite sure if I'm, what the angle or position is that I'm shooting for. To
So
have Cabo
basically
in.
just think you're gonna walk straight down the long side.
Yeah.
And you're gonna envision, he's got 4 legs like this.
Yeah.
And you wanna think in a straight way, his ears like on a 3-degree angle. Think they could look towards the wall a tiny bit. His outside hind leg should be between his 2 front feet. That's all the more angle you need. So if you shove him way over, yep, there you go. His outside hinds, but his ears need to stay aligned, straight thinking. So that's where your inside leg comes in. There you go. Yep. So he can still turn the corner that way, because that's just moving along. That's a shape moving along the line. You what?
I'm just moving straight along the
So what you'll actually see is you've tucked his outside hind leg. So this one on the left long side, you've actually tucked his outside hind leg in under his body, which that's what head to the wall is forward. Because the reason you want to do that is, again, if I'm like this and I pull my inside rein and go, I need you to flex.
Yeah.
This is what they're going to do with their hind leg.
Right.
So you've said, I want this one to stay under here because when I flex you, you're not going to get the whip out of the butt like swallow the cavaletti.
Okay.
So you still keep riding his left side.
Yeah.
His ears stay straight angled, teeny bit to the wall. And you just, there you go. Yep.
It's subtle. This is super
Okay.
subtle.
See how much better he feels like he's walking on his own then?
Yeah.
So don't oversteer, don't over sideways. Just say, hey, just walk along these 2 quarter lines in the head to the wall that he kind of already has. There you go. So you're moving along. There you go.
There you go.
Yep. So you truly can feel the purity of his gaze now.
Yeah.
So again, his ears have to stay straight. You have his head cranked a little to the wall, only with your right rein.
Okay.
So again, don't monkey with hind leg. So again, you notice how you said, oh, I can't have your ears over here. I'm gonna have your ears over here. You didn't think anything about his hind feet to stay mobilized for you to replace his ears. You just sat there, hunkered down, and replaced ears. There you go. Good. So if you want to ask him for a tiny bit of flexion to the inside, this is what his body has to stay like. And if I put, that's what I can describe as calf flexion. If I put calf cleaner on your thumb and your your index finger and your middle finger on your glove, I literally just want you to do this and clean the rein with your inside rein, with your inside hand. There you go. Yep. And that's all the more you need. But now you lost the thought of head to the wall. Feel how now he's falling away. So you went past what? So your flexion now has outdone everything else. So you don't have mobilized hind legs. You lost them. They went away somewhere. There you go. So you still live your thought process in head to the wall, out of his hind end. His ears should be a little straighter thinking or almost to the wall. Yep, and now just clean your inside rein. Keep the head to the wall idea. There you go.
There you go.
Yep, there he has flexion. And you can look at the muscles in his neck and see that he does.
Wow.
There.
Subtle, huh?
Very
Good.
subtle.
So after he has that, soften your hands. Just don't drop your body's carriage in what you're asking. Clean the rein on the inside while you move. So you see how you don't actually keep, there you go, while you move. Yep. There you go. Yep. Good. Good. So when he turns, think head to the wall, because you have to mobilize his hind legs to your hands. Yep. His ears stay straight, thinking almost like they could angle to the wall, but then you clean the rein on the inside. But while
Yeah.
you move. So your hands have to feel, move, and convert. There you go. Yep. Now you're carrying your hands and riding into your hands. You feel how you actually feel like you have access to his hind legs too? So those are all things that, again, if you do that with your thoroughbred, you'll be surprised on how much softer they actually drop their own necks. Because they're used to having to carry all that tension in their necks.
It's so cool watching someone else do this on him and you're not doing it, because the biggest thing I see in my takeaway is how the loin just becomes more
It
yeah.
really does. And you can also see that outside
Yeah.
He does the correct head to the wall
Yep.
version.
And it's so subtle, and I'm like thinking, I so override this thing. Yeah. So can we sort of fast forward, because now we're sort of like running into time constraints. Watch her canter, watch her walk to canter, which she had never done before.
Yeah.
Well, it's Cabo too. But do that, and then go over the stand up in the canter to make sure that she got it.
So do the same head to the wall thought to set him up for the canter. And then when he feels like what he has a little bit, there you go. So you're gonna still maintain that because when you ask him for canter, it's his outside hind leg that starts it, right? Yeah. And then it comes out his inside. Your body also stays back in the outside and up in the inside. Good.
So remember, inside leg forward though, because, yeah, there you go. Do you feel how you carry it a little bit? I know that feels like more of a chair leg, but it has to be at the girth.
Steer his hind legs, access his hind legs, go to the canter, I just gotta get the front one.
Okay, hang on a second until she comes back. But that's why you'll see it where your normal leg is, and it's fine for normal work, but when you're ready to canter, again, inside leg, outside leg back will give you that fourth position, but you just preface it by just get that inside leg forward in place.
Concept of thinking about that you're steering the hind end, not the head all the time.
When you watch, did you feel a big difference?
Actually, I did.
See, I don't feel a huge, but I see the response in the horse. When you watch this, you'll just go like, oh, he's so through and on the bit. And like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can just see it with your mare. If you do this with your mare, like, because you said her head goes, mine.
Yep, and well, talk about feeling unbalanced.
Yeah,
She's like, I have to thrust myself into the canter,
yep.
with
So,
my shoulders, all right?
okay, so inside leg forward and do what she said, ride that hind leg.
So again, you're gonna think head to the wall, mobilize his hind legs. Don't just think turning to the inside. Again, his ears go straight ahead. Think again, his ears go thinking a little angle straight. There you go. Ride his inside to say, hey, this keeps coming.
All right, let me try that again.
So that's all pretty much front end. Keep coming in the trot, and then you can go back to the canter. So again, you have to be able to feel like you know where his hind, they're up underneath you. He keeps cantering off of his forehand, off of his front end.
Also, where I'm tying this into is outside rein.
That's a guy. So yep, keep coming. Keep coming, and then go to the canter. So again, hind legs. You have to mobilize his outside hind leg in under his body. Little nudges with the leg. So again, the best way that I can tell that is think you're treading water in a current of water.
Yeah.
And you have to tread water backwards. Then bumping with legs. Because you kind of, again, you're going way forward in your upper body, your legs are going out behind you. That just makes him go more and more on the forehand. Your body language is saying, sure, go as far down on the forehand as you'd like. So if you think again of being able to be in a current of water, and you have to tread water backwards, and that's the body position you take, and then you nudge in with legs.
Okay.
That way you stay upright instead of what happens is when we go to use legs, we end up with this.
Right.
And there's no way, so being able to tread water backwards, you bump him so he knows to go in front of you, not more out behind you. Yep, stay treading water backwards. That's just your posture and your place. And bumping with legs, tread water backwards. So if you were in a pose, you have to think tread water backwards, but bumping with legs. And again, if you were going to do every couple strides posting, you could stand up, stand up, stand up. It's on that inside front leg. There you go. Yep. So again, you're a little bit slow. You want to actually stand up every couple of strides. You stand up and sit right back down. It's not like, so again, the timing of it, you want the crispness of his canter, the posting part in the canter.
Okay.
For you to have a clear canter stride, I stand up for this one, and then we carry along, I stand up for this one.
Okay, can I try it again?
tread water backwards, and but bump it. Same time, there you go. Yep, there you go. Now you could stand up and down. Stand up and down. Bump it, say, oh, I can't tread water backwards anymore, because you're just in my hand. Again, mobilize the hind leg, bump it, but think tread water backwards. Keep going. Yep, and you just close the reins where he's out in front of you. Exactly. Bump him and say, hey, to my hands here. There you go. Yep. So again, the posting canter should be really like a posting trot. It should feel like there's nothing to happen. Okay. Just hover and stand.
It was interesting watching as she went on, like you said,